Thanks, Gary. Tonight, a disturbing case of abuse. A young girl is hospitalized, and reporter Bill Rapley is standing by live at Hasbro Children's Hospital with full details. Good evening, Bill.
Well, good evening, Doug. The toddler remains in fair condition here at the hospital, and investigators are continuing to try to find out whether her injuries are the result of child abuse. Hasbro Children's Hospital admitted the baby yesterday, and soon afterwards, doctors called the State Department of Children and their families.
We received a report yesterday afternoon from Hasbro Hospital of a suspected child abuse case involving a 20-month-old female infant. We are working in conjunction with the Providence Police, interviewing any potential witnesses, anyone living in the household, in addition to medical personnel, and trying to determine whether or not abuse took place and whether or not any of the possible explanations for the injury are consistent with the injury itself.
A family member drove the child to the hospital yesterday. The home is in South Providence, and nobody came to the door when we knocked. People from the house are still talking with authorities.
We have conducted some interviews last night along with Providence Police. We will need to sit down and review our information with Providence, determine whether anyone needs to be re-interviewed.
Now, out of caution, the DCYF has taken other children from the baby's family and placed them in foster care. Live in Providence, Bill Rapley, News Channel 10.
A suspended Boston College student from Warwick is accused of hacking into the college's computers and stealing passwords, emails, and downloaded files. News Channel 10's Gene Balicenti joins us live with the latest. Gene?
Hi, Patrice. Call it cutting-edge crime. The Massachusetts Attorney General announcing the indictment against 21-year-old Douglas Boudreau today. Authorities say that starting in April of last year, Boudreau placed secret keystroke monitoring software on more than 100 computers on the BC campus. Now, using that software, he could allegedly watch as faculty and students sent emails, downloaded files, and engaged in online banking. Boudreau then allegedly compiled a database of computer passwords, confidential access codes, credit cards, and social security numbers.
Without getting into too much of the technical nature, BC's situation here was not unique. What we allege Douglas Boudreau did was take advantage of vulnerabilities that can be found in lots of systems.
Prosecutors say you tap your key and he could watch you on his computer. Stolen information. Authorities say Boudreau was able to recode his student ID card. That allowed him to allegedly make purchases at the campus bookstore, dining hall, and laundry machines, and then charge it to other accounts. He's facing a variety of charges tonight, including identity fraud and breaking and entering. All of that, as we said, high-tech. Reporting live, Gene Valicenti, News Channel 10.
An expired warrant leads to the mistaken release of a man from Taunton. Police shot Shane Hayden on January 15th after a brief foot chase in Norton. He was taken to Rhode Island Hospital for treatment, but Hayden's Massachusetts warrant expired before he was arraigned in Providence, and he was let go. Well, tonight, police say they don't know where Hayden is. He's wanted on several charges, including assault and battery.
Flames raced through two Providence homes this morning, leaving 14 people homeless. The first fire broke out on Lowell Avenue. 4 adults and 1 child are being helped. Then a few hours later, a second fire broke out on Hyatt Street. All occupants got out safely and are being assisted by the Red Cross. But the Red Cross has assisted nearly twice as many people so far this year. Now the organization says it's in need of some help.
I think the scariest thing for us is to be so far ahead compared to last year in terms of the amount of money that we have spent and be so early in the year, because we want to make sure that we have the money to help a family in February, to help a family that needs us in April.
The Red Cross has been very busy this year. It's also assisting with communication between military families and soldiers and has helped out in the shelters opened up during the recent cold snap. You can find out how to donate to the Red Cross by logging on to turnto10.com.
The Massachusetts State Police reconstruction team is investigating a deadly accident in Rehoboth. Around 10 o'clock this morning, a car hit a pole and a rock at the intersection of Route 118 and Tremont Street. The identity of the victim has not been released as yet. A state trooper charged with drunk driving has been suspended with pay. State police officials say that Eve Marani's suspension is pending the outcome of an internal investigation. Police in East Greenwich pulled over Marani for driving on the wrong side of the road yesterday morning.
Rhode Island's top judge says big changes are needed in the troubled Sheriff's Department. News Channel 10's I-Team reporter Jim Terracani has a story.
I guess because he knew me.
With High Sheriff James DeCastro facing a termination hearing and new allegations of political patronage in the controversial Sheriff's Department, State Supreme Court Chief Justice Frank Williams says things have gotten better since State Police Lieutenant Stephen Lynch took control of the department. But a lot more needs to be done.
What needs to be done generally with the Sheriff's Department, which is organization, leadership, additional bodies, training.
Almost 2 years ago, the state marshals and sheriff's departments were merged. Many marshals who are better trained resented the move. There is still friction in the ranks. The courts, however, don't control the sheriff's department. The governor's office does. But would Williams want the sheriffs to come under his control? Not really.
I could not take the Sheriff's Division in its present condition until there are some drastic changes.
Williams says better training of sheriffs is a must.
All rise, please.
Meanwhile, the Chief Justice is trying to get the governor's office to give up its veto power over the court budget. Williams says that power hampers the efficient operation of the court. Jim Terracani, News Channel 10.
Chief Justice Williams is this week's guest on our 10 News conference program, which can be seen Sunday morning at 6:30.
It is a system that will help find abducted children. Today, the Amber Alert is put through a practice test.
And ahead in our consumer report, how recalls work and how you can make a difference.
Now you can report news in the making by dialing *10 from your Verizon wireless phone. Verizon Wireless provides the toll-free call for News Channel 10 viewers. It began February 6, 1978. Before it was over, southern New England had 54 inches of snow, over 1,900 cars stranded, over 11,000 homes without power. The blizzard of '78. Join NBC 10 for a look back at the storm that shook a region and hear how people worked together to overcome one of the great storms of the 20th century. From the one station that remained on the air throughout the storm, NBC 10, Storm of the Century, the blizzard of '78. Tonight at 7, brought to you by Cardi's Furniture.
Revving up for Daytona with Dodge Power Days, where you can grab 0% APR financing on select models or cash allowances of up to $4,500 on the mighty lineup of Dodge trucks. Save on the V8-powered Durango. Save on the V8-powered Dakota. Even get a cash allowance on Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, Ram Heavy Duty. Plus, get Dodge's 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. You want to add some serious muscle? Get it in gear. Power Days ends February 28th.
Feeling a bit scattered? Having a hard time digging out from under? Let California Closets simplify your home and your life. Whether it's clothes or computers, lingerie or laundry, California Closets can make your home feel like home. Call 800-2SIMPLIFY for a free in-home design consultation. Whatever your budget or style, we'll work together to create a custom design just for you. California Closets, making your home a sanctuary from life's chaos.
Would Rhode Island be prepared if a child were abducted? Finding that answer was the goal of testing the state's new Amber Alert system. And today in Cranston, police officers, volunteers, and several other agencies took part in a drill, a fictitious abduction of a child from a location somewhere in Rhode Island.
The child has to be in danger of serious injury or death. There has to be enough information to broadcast so that the public can take that information and call the Amber phone bank and give us information that is pertinent to the case, and we can actually try and arrest the abductor before any harm is done.
Rhode Island implemented the Amber Alert system in September.
Well, it could soon become a lot more expensive for residents of Massachusetts to file documents with the Registry of Deeds. If it's approved by the legislature, the fees for filing deeds at the registry would go from $45 to $100. Mortgage filings would go from $40 to $100. and the fee for homestead declaration would increase from $10 to $30. The governor says the increase in fees would raise an additional $200 million for the state.
Bone-chilling winds whip past stalled vehicles and brutally attack those challenging the elements.
Remembering the blizzard of '78 through the eyes of a southern New Englander. His story may sound familiar to you.
For me, the students in 1960 who sat in on the lunch counters were history makers in that they taught us that we could act, that there were things that we could do, simple things in our daily lives that we could change. So for me, the sit-ins, the fact that college freshmen went to the 5 and 10 and said we would like to be served, and when they were refused, said then we won't move. That was a very powerful statement, which certainly had a big impact on my life. We now live in a truly multicultural community, all of our communities, certainly here in Rhode Island. We all have to recognize that diversity is not something that just is something we imagine. It's something that we encounter every day. We all need to figure out how to get along with many, many different kinds of people.
Tonight on NBC Nightly News, the war on terror requires constant vigilance across many fronts, including the internet. How do Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups use the web to coordinate their attacks? The NBC News investigative unit uncovered alarming information. The dark side of cyberspace. NBC Nightly News tonight.
The Barry Advantage.
I've referred many people to Barry's sales and service.
The salesperson at Barry's really seemed interested in me.
So remember, take the drive to Barry's Newport Nissan Volvo. You're worth it.
I'm not fussy. I just know what I like. Which clothes, which boys, music, food.
Milk?
Totally. Whole milk rocks.
So does Simply Smart Milk. It's the low-fat milk that tastes richer and creamier.
Oh, please.
In fact, Simply Smart 1% tastes like whole milk.
Tastes like whole milk. I know that.
And it's even more nutritious than whole milk.
Nutrition rocks.
Totally. Simply Smart Milk. You can feel good about Hood.
Let's say that this is your car. Now, if you do things like drive the speed limit and keep a safe distance from 18-wheelers and, avoid accidents, Allstate could save you up to 20% off your auto insurance bill. That's 20% more money you'll have to put towards, say, I don't know, trip to Alaska. So, there you go. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
Fact. My queen size set is $3.99. This Simmons is $5.99.
That's 200 big ones more.
Fact. You may be able to squeeze so-called free delivery out of them.
Really?
Fact. Simmons' warranty is 10 years. Mine is also 10 years, but it's no ifs, ands, or buts.
So there's no gamble. They can't lose.
Fact. You won't have to buy another set for 10 full years.
Free delivery?
Fact. Give me an extra $200, and I'll give you not only free delivery, but I'll...
The Barry Advantage.
My husband did a lot of shopping, and he kept coming back to Barry's because the price was right.
I really feel here at Barry's I've always received a fair price.
Take the drive to Barry's Dartmouth Nissan Volvo. You're worth it.
The blizzard of '78 and your memories. A car abandoned along a local highway. A path shoveled along Selma Street in Cranston for people to walk down. These are just two of the pictures from the thousands of stories sent to us at turnto10.com.
So that's where my car is.
That's where it is.
Tonight, R.J. Heim has one such story of what happened when Mother Nature took over.
For every stranded motorist, there is a different story. One man summed up his experience. It's something you learn from, something you talk about, something you never forget.
It started snowing, I think, around 11 o'clock. And I remember that because I called a few of my suppliers. They had already dismissed their people for the day. We're wondering when our plant manager was going to say, okay, shut the place down, everyone go home. He never said that. He didn't dismiss anyone in the company till 3:30, and by then, it was really too late.
Mark Wingfield worked near Lincoln and was trying to get to his apartment in East Providence. Top speed on 146, 5 miles per hour.
It took me 2.5 hours to get from there to this point, right here on 95 South.
And that's where the world stopped. He was in an MGB with a quarter tank of gas. Nothing was moving. For 3 hours he sat, turning the car on and off for heat and to save gas.
When the guy in front of me decided to abandon his van, there's nowhere I could go. When I opened my car door, I had to push it hard to get open because the snow drifts had already built up around the car.
Looking for shelter, on foot, he jumped the median and crossed abandoned 95 North. So Mark makes his way across the highway. The Holiday Inn is in sight. What he fails to realize, though, is this is a 6-foot drop, but it's covered with snow.
Fortunately, I fell forward, so I was able to kind of pedal my way out of there with my briefcase wailing in the wind.
Battered but not beaten, he joined 1,000 others with the same idea. No rooms left. For the next 3 days, the lobby would become their home.
They ran out of a few food items during the next couple of days, but they never ran out of alcohol.
Buried like the rest of southern New England, looking for perspective, he went to the top floor.
And looked out, and I had never seen such total stillness in a town. It was quite a eerie sight. You're wondering, is this really happening?
On the third day, with the lobby taking on the odor of those needing soap and toothpaste, he took the initiative. It was time to go home. On foot to South Main, hitching a ride on a snowmobile that took him to the Washington Bridge, and another hitch on the back of a lone pickup to the Veterans Memorial Parkway, and finally, home.
Turned on the faucet on the bathtub, grabbed my toothbrush, and finally I was home.
Sat in that tub for hours.
For a long time, long time.
The next day, a call from a friend to turn on the TV.
There were 6 people pushing my little MGB off the side of the road. Funniest sight I ever saw.
That really was his MGB. We found it on tape. Now, to this day, Mark has a survival kit in his car at all times, another set of clothes in the car, and a toothbrush. Tonight at 7 o'clock, join us right here on NBC 10 for a half-hour special on the blizzard of '78. In the newsroom, R.J. Heim, News Channel 10.
A nice car. I hope you still have that. And gee, that's a classic, huh? Let's look at temperatures around the area. You can see readings in the upper 20s, low 30s as we go from Taunton to Central Falls to Coventry and down to Block Island. Other readings across the Northeast, shaping up this way with our weather watchers. The Luthers, North Scituate, some clouds in 27. Jeff Riemann reporting clear, 19. He's in Cumberland. Manny Ribello, nice, 29 degrees this hour in Rehoboth, or within the last hour, I should say. McKay Rolette, calm in Narragansett, 26. And the Flynn's reporting it smells like snow, and 25. See that? Our weather watchers are so attuned to everything. Now we can smell the snow on the way. And in fact, we will see some of that snow coming in later on tonight. 29 at the airport this hour, Worcester at 27. Temperatures won't fall off much at all tonight with the cloud cover and the southwest wind, which will be across the area tonight. Satellite imagery showing the clouds on the increase late this afternoon. Thicker back in Pennsylvania, as you can see in here. And with those thicker clouds, we find some snowfall. Light, very light back in here, not even accumulating a half an inch in an hour. At this time, the heaviest is about 1/3 of an inch per hour. Some of this will come into the area late tonight. I expect a dusting for the morning commute, so maybe a little slippery. But I think the afternoon commute will be the more difficult of the two, as the snow should be coming down pretty hard at times during the afternoon. So there's a fairly wide band of it stretching all the way from Pennsylvania down here into Missouri. But this is a disturbance in the upper part of the atmosphere right in here, and that's going to shoot to the northeast and help develop low pressure on the east coast. In fact, the high pressure is moving away now, and by tomorrow morning at 7, the snow is falling in the area and just beginning to accumulate. It'll come down hard at times, as I mentioned, tomorrow. The low pulls away as we go into Saturday morning, and then we'll see clearing with sunshine on Saturday. Some snow showers likely on the Cape and the islands, though, overnight. Now, the track of the storm is far enough to the south that the numbers reflect that. Less snow to the north, more snow to the south. Fairly wide range because the storm is still a full 12 to 24 hours away in terms of the period of snowfall. So we'll tweak and fine-tune this a little bit as we go through the night tonight and have an update for you at 11. Mostly cloudy, some light snow coming in late tonight. Overnight low temperatures 20 to 28, southwest winds 6 to 12. During the day tomorrow, how about snow coming down hard at times in the afternoon? 28 to about 33 for the high temperatures, wind shifting toward the northeast, and 1 to 2 foot waves in the bay with a high tide at 11:49, just about at noontime tomorrow. So the snow is around here tomorrow. Weekend looks good. Snow showers later Monday as a cold front comes by. Temperature drops back to 24 on Tuesday. So again, the most substantial snow will be from the late morning into the afternoon hours, and it may come down hard at times in that period. Should be a fluffy, powdery kind of snow. The atmosphere is fairly dry, and that's what you get when you get a dry atmosphere.
Heaviest when we're coming into work.
Yes. Well,
At
I'll
that
be here
time.
already, though.
Okay.
When you're
Oh,
coming
no
into
kidding.
work. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're coming in?
Oh, yeah. You betcha.
Wow.
I may stay all night.
What a guy.
Don't say that.
Tonight at 11 o'clock, car seats are supposed to keep your child secure, but just because they're buckled in doesn't mean the kids are safe. After ER, a special report on the false sense of security associated with dangerous car seats.
The Boston Red Sox road caravan pulled into Rhode Island today with Trot and Lou aboard. The details of their visit to McCoy Stadium next.
Then on NBC Nightly News this evening, late this afternoon, President Bush declared the countdown to war with Iraq is on. The games, he said, with Saddam have ended. That's ahead at 6:30.
Closed captioning on NBC 10 is brought to you by Cardi's Furniture Superstores, serving the community since 1928.
It's not proper or refined, still I'm somewhat inclined to gloat, and yes, it's selfish, I confess. I love the money, it's true, the cash that I've saved on the Toyota that I crave. Ask someone who drives one, and you could too. I love the savings, and so could you.
I'm going to take the bandages off now.
Oh my God. I can see. I can see. I can see.
Time for new furniture? Then it's time to save at Alpert's. The best selection of furniture under one roof at guaranteed lowest prices. So get into Alpert's, just what you're looking for in a furniture store.
Well, you're fired.
Get into Burger King today and try the delicious Italian chicken sandwich. Seasoned, breaded, all-white meat chicken, topped with melted mozzarella and tangy marinara, served on a fresh specialty bun. The Italian chicken sandwich. Have it your way at Burger King.
This Saturday, save like nowhere else at Filene's One Day Sale. Save an extra 33 to 50% on winter sportswear for a total savings of 50 to 75%. There's a preview day Friday. Be sure to save on Bed in a Bag and Dockers for him. We're celebrating Valentine's Day by giving you 50% off all fine jewelry. Use your extra 15% off bonus coupons on your entire purchase. Plus, find all furniture on sale. The One Day Sale, Friday and Saturday at Filene's.
The Paw Sox don't play their first home game until April, yet fans were still lined up at McCoy Stadium today to spend some time with Red Sox players. This time, however, it was Boston Red Sox regulars Trot Nixon and PC grad Lou Merloni who were in Pawtucket as part of the Sox offseason road caravan. Fans, young and old, got the chance to see the players, get some autographs, and talk baseball with two guys who once called McCoy Stadium home.
For the 2 years I played in McCoy were one of the two most special years I had here. And it starts with the fans, but I think most of all it starts with the front office. And it's great to come here and see what they've done to the new McCoy.
It's nice to come back here and spend some time and see old friends. So it's the Pawtucket, always a special place with me. So I mean, spend some time down here. So it's a great place.
The URI Rams won their 13th game of the year last night, beating Jim Barron's former team, St. Bonaventure, at the Ryan Center. Speaking of Rhodey's coach, he's not the only Barron you'll find on the Rhode Island basketball scene these days. Sports Team 10's Tim Gray has that story.
The father is writing a memorable story in only his second season as coach of the URI Rams. The son is playing basketball at Hendricken. They share the same name and approach to the game: hard work, discipline, and patience. Or as Barron Sr. likes to say, it's all a process.
He wanted to do it ever since, you know, he was 4 or 5 years old. You know, we had him at camp, and, you know, he's doing it. And then my other son, who's 12 years old, Billy, he's doing the same thing. So, you know, it's nice to have that kind of relationship. I never had that with my dad, and, you know, I got close with some coaches, but, you know, to have those guys to go through it and to be around my teams. Now, this is the third team that I've been around, so these guys are making a lot of friends.
He's just been a big role model for me. You know, I've been looking up to him ever since I was born. You know, he's helped me to overcome so many situations in a game, you know, telling me what to do in certain situations, you know, teaching me how to dribble, shoot, and pass.
Jim Barron Jr. is averaging roughly 16 points a game for Hendricken High School. As far as Jim Jr.'s work ethic, well, Hendricken head coach Jamal Gomes says, like father, like son.
Jimmy Barron is a kid that is there 2 hours before practice and 2 hours after. So in my opinion, as his coach, he's only going to get better.
In Warwick with the Barons of basketball, Tim Gray, Sports Team 10.
Connecticut basketball coach Jim Calhoun had his cancerous prostate removed today. A full recovery is expected. Calhoun will be released from the hospital this weekend and will resume coaching in 3 to 4 weeks. Well, when Texas Tech beat Nebraska last night, Tech head coach Bobby Knight entered a very exclusive club, the 800 Club. Knight becomes only the 4th Division I men's coach to reach that mark. Former North Carolina coach Dean Smith is the all-time leader with 879 career wins. Finally, our NBC 10 Southeastern Massachusetts Athlete of the Week. Wareham hockey star James Grotman scored 4 goals in his team's win over South Shore Vote. Congratulations to Wareham's James Grotman, our NBC 10 Athlete of the Week. Way to go. That's sports.
Good job.
Okay, thank you, Frank. Do you have a product at home that you think might be unsafe? Did you know that you have the power to get it taken off the shelves? Consumer reporter Audrey Laganis shows us how to turn a consumer complaint into a recall.
We have authority over 15,000 consumer products.
Take a look at these products. They have something in common.
You can see how dangerous that would be for a child, because the first thing they're going to do is put that in their mouths.
They've been declared unsafe and recalled by the Consumer Product Safety Commission.
The thing we're holding is the rayon skirt, the overskirt, which is extremely flammable. The underskirt, which is basically cotton, was just fine.
We, the consumers, play an important role in this process. That's because most recalls are the result of consumer complaints that come to the Consumer Product Safety Commission through their website or by telephone.
One of our investigators will give you a call at home, usually, and we'll ask if you still have the product. That's very important to us.
It's important because the Consumer Product Safety Commission usually buys the product back from the consumer and tests it, like this French fry cutter.
One complaint generated the recall because a lady lacerated her finger. Its edges are very sharp. And again, one complaint does count.
Once the product is found to be unsafe, the manufacturer must come up with a solution.
This could be refund, which consumers love because they get their money back. It could be repair. If it's a big item like a color TV set, they'll send a technician to your home and repair it for you. Or it could be replacement.
Most recalls are voluntary, which means the manufacturer is cooperating. If a manufacturer refuses to cooperate, the agency may issue a mandatory recall. If you'd like to initiate a recall, we've got information on how to do that on turnto10.com. Audrey Laganis, News Channel 10.
That'll do it for News Channel 10 tonight at 6. Thanks for being with us. NBC Nightly News coming up next.
And we'll be back with all the latest news tonight at 11 on News Channel 10. We hope to see you then.
First Team, the President and Colin Powell side-by-side selling